Leon Thomas. Welcome to the Business Information Show. Today we're here with a repeat guest, Jennifer Grant. Jennifer, how
Good
you
morning.
doing?
I'm doing really well, Leon. It's nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you as well. Jennifer Grant was with us, Jennifer, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when we
Mhm.
had another episode and we were talking about some great things that, as far as business goes and image, because Jennifer is an image consultant. And we thought we'd bring her back because we had such great feedback from so many people asking
Oh, that's
asking
great.
questions. Jennifer, how does that sound? People want you to come back on. What do you
Oh
think
my
about that?
gosh, that just makes my day, Leon. That's wonderful that your viewers are enjoying, your show and your guests. So I'm just delighted to be one of your guests again.
Well, thank you. It's good to have you here. And of course, the most important thing is they like the information that you're providing for them.
That's
So
great.
that's great. One of the things I thought it would be good for us to talk about today, and I've seen you post some about this on LinkedIn, and that's the concept of positive thinking, that change is
Mhm.
going to happen. We all need to get used to that, but also to be positive, and not just positive in change, but have a positive outlook on everything that's going on. So tell us some about that, your thoughts on it, and how did you get that way in your personal life and your business life? Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Leon. So I think for me, um, I tend to look at things if there's something negative happening or difficult going on. I always look to see, is there an opportunity in this to make it better, to make someone feel more positive? And I think just through all of my life experience and probably coaching experience, I'm usually able to get someone to move from that point of negativity, help them improve their confidence and their self-assurance and their self-worth, and think about it. I make an intention every morning when I get up that today is a new opportunity for me, and any challenges that I might have had yesterday, that's yesterday, so those are gone. So I recommend that people treat each new day as an opportunity to learn and grow and be more positive.
hmm Now, when you mentioned something when you were just talking, you mentioned something about confidence, that
Hmm.
you need to build confidence, need to have confidence. What are some ways that folks can become more confident in their business life, their everyday life? What are a couple things you would point to on that?
Well, what I would recommend on that, it does come down to our image and how we feel about ourselves. And image is really all encompassing. It has to do with us on the inside and on the outside, like how we appear to the world. And if you, um, if you have a good appearance and you take time to care about your appearance, you will automatically develop more confidence in that regard, because when we dress a certain way that makes us feel good and we're comfortable in it, then automatically confidence follows that. So that's one of the ways. And one of the other ways, and I say this to all of my clients, is that probably the most important image tip, or to becoming confident, is to be aware of your posture. So if you sit tall, stand tall, put your shoulders back, chin at mid-level, you're automatically going to appear more confident, and you're going to feel that way too. It's going to translate into your interactions with other people.
And when you feel good,
Yes,
you're going to be more positive and have a better outlook
absolutely.
on things, right?
Most definitely, yes. It just goes hand in hand. So that's a good point.
It's interesting you brought that up in terms of the image. I want to tell you
Hmm.
about my father. My father was sharp,
Hmm.
and he insisted that we be neat
Hmm.
all the time, right? And one of the things that you would always hear him say, one of his catchphrases when we knew it was time to really bring out the good clothes, to really
Mhm.
bring it out, he would say, "Yeah, we're going to wherever." And he'd say, "Put your stuff on."
Mhm.
Right? Put your stuff on. That meant, put your suit on, have your shoes shined. And I remember Saturday nights before Sunday morning church, Dad was shining the shoes, and he bought really nice looking clothes and always looked good. And he insisted that we do that. And as I got older and had children, I tried to instill that upon them myself, but
Mhm.
also my father and I then started having conversations about that. And one of the things he said was, if you look good, he said, now I'm not talking expensive stuff.
No.
Just look good, make sure it fits right, the colors
Yeah.
for you, that it's neatly pressed and that,
Mhm.
things are worn properly. That when you look good, you feel good. And when
Absolutely.
you feel good about yourself, it just does something to you. It changes your image of you
Mhm.
and the way others look at you. If
Yes.
you're just sharp. So keep that on the back burner for a
All
second.
right.
All right. Let's fast forward about 19 years, 18, 19 years past that conversation.
Okay.
My family and I were looking for a new home. And my son went to a school that he had to wear a suit and tie, a
Mhm.
jacket and tie to high school. And so we meet with a realtor and we're looking at a home, and the realtor and there was a group of people there, the realtor from the other company, because we had some questions to ask, and it's kind of like a really short meeting. We're all there. And they asked my son, they said, "Do you always dress like this?" And he was very confident in everything
Mhm.
that he did. And he says, "Yeah, this is every day. It's just how I dress.
Mhm.
I didn't just put it on to come here. This is what I do."
This
And
is
I
me.
thought back to the way he was presenting himself then and what my dad said. That's so important. And I can't figure it out, Jennifer. Maybe you could help me, because we're going to talk about image and even here online.
Sure.
Where did the idea of come from that you don't have to look good, you don't have to look sharp, and that it was okay just to look any kind of way, and people not recognizing that how you look is going to connect to how you feel? Where do you
Yeah.
think, where did that come from?
Well, I think that's been part of an evolution, I think, Leon, in the last few years. And I think probably the pandemic, in a way, has actually accelerated that, where people are spending a lot of time in Zoom meetings or other video conferences, and feeling, I guess, I'm working from home. My image doesn't matter so much anymore. I'm just going to show up, and I've always said to everyone that when you're online, that's just an extension of yourself, and that you should still dress and appear in a professional manner, because it works the same way when you're online as it does in person. And I think your father uh, really had it right. And I think great for your son to be that way. And I know you are as well, because I'm a big fan of how you put yourself together. So I think I know that there are, I don't want to say younger people, because it's not just young people, but there are a lot of people that are anti-image, and they want to make a point of, it doesn't matter, my work is, I'm very competent and talented in my job, and that should speak for itself. And for many people it does, but just think about how adding on another layer of being confident and making sure that you care and that you're grooming yourself properly, that's going to up the quotient of how they come across in person or in the virtual space.
Yeah. Thank you for your kind words, by
You're
the way.
welcome.
Thank you,
Oh,
thank
you're
you.
welcome.
I
You deserve it.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about how I started wearing ascots? Did we ever
I don't,
talk about that?
maybe a long time ago, but I think you
Yeah.
should tell your viewers again because I
So
love your
I
Ascot.
I used to do a lot of presenting at conventions and conferences and so forth. And whenever I'd have a big gig, a big conference, I'd
Hmm.
always want to get a new suit or a new
Hmm.
blazer
Knew
or
something.
sport coat. And so I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'd already purchased my attire for the convention that was coming up in Vegas. So I had my jacket, my shirt, I'm ready to go, and I had some time off between classes, and I went to a clothing store in downtown Harrisburg to try to find neckties to go with the outfit that I was going to wear. And I'm in the back and I see this long wall, wide wall of neckties. And on the far side, there's some neckties that are wider. You know, a wider tie, you get a wider knot, right? You get a wider knot.
Right.
And so I really liked the wide knot and I grabbed one of them and it was like crazy wide. I'm like, man, this is it.
This
And the
is the
guy
one.
that, yeah, this was the one. And the guy that works in the store, he comes over to me. He says, that's not a tie. That's an ascot. I go, what? He says, it's an ascot, man. You know, like Thurston Howell the third wore on Gilligan's Island. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So he takes it and he says, let me show you how to do it. He ties it around my neck,
Yep.
spins me around, pushes me toward the mirror, and goes, what do you think? And I go, oh yeah, this is me.
This
And
is
then
me.
suddenly I started wearing ascots. I go to the convention, of course, knock them dead on stage because I felt good. But
Hmm.
that's how I started wearing those ascots, and occasionally I'll even wear them here online on shows and other things that take place here.
Well,
Now,
and it's one thing, if I can just take a moment to comment on that, I think that that's become part of your signature style. And I think it doesn't take too much for anyone just to have some sort of an accoutrement or something that they can be known for with regards to their style. And I've always loved your ascots, and I think you just wear them, magnificently.
oh, thank you, thank you. Now,
You're welcome.
you have the accessorizing down.
Oh,
I see. I mean, look at you now. Wait, let me get a single shot of that. Look at that. Look at the accessories here, even down to the chair, folks. Jennifer not only talks it, she walks the talk. And you see so many folks that don't in many areas, but we know that you do. Now, Jennifer, let's talk about that online presence again.
sure.
Let's go. Let's talk some about that.
Hmm.
What are some things that folks can do that when they're preparing for that online meeting or they're preparing for a presentation that's going to be done virtually, or even that meeting with two or three colleagues that you work on a
Hmm.
team together? What are some things that folks can do to improve the way they look and improve the image or their surroundings? What are some tips that you would have for them?
Well, thank you for asking that, Leon. I actually have been doing since the pandemic started a Zoom 101 class, and there are a few basic things that I recommend. That if it's a larger meeting, I'm always a proponent of people having their cameras on versus off because a black space is just a little bit off-putting. So I think unless you have a reason that you're going to keep your camera off, I recommend that you keep it on. And then a couple of other things is just practice a little bit about how to center yourself on the screen. You can make some adjustments there. Sometimes a little lighting will help, so don't have a blinding type of background or be sitting right in front of a window. That's going to pale you out. So they should spend some time with that. And I think, again, it is important. It is important how you dress, even though people can only see us from the shoulders up. We want to put our best selves forward. And, little things like remembering to look into the camera, be gracious, be well spoken, and all of the things that come along with good communication. So I think those are my few tips.
Yeah, let's talk about looking into the camera. All
Yes.
right. And I think that that comes from many of us being told when we were younger that you always look at the person you're talking to. You
Yeah.
make eye contact with them.
Right.
So if I'm looking directly at the camera now, which gives
Mhm.
the appearance that I'm making eye contact with you and our audience,
Absolutely.
right? I'm looking
Yes.
directly at the camera. My camera's not down below, right,
No.
where you're seeing a lot of my ceiling, right?
Right.
It's straight ahead. So my camera is raised. Now, I want to show just some of the pieces that I use to
Sure.
help get me there. I use an adjustable desk.
Right.
Okay, so if I press the button on the desk here, you're gonna slowly see me go out of the screen,
Where did
right?
Leon go?
Right.
Yeah.
But, however, even from there, I can stand and
Right.
present. So sometimes I stand. Okay.
Mhm.
Now let's go back down because I'm gonna sit down for the rest of the show. And here we go. We're going back down now. And what I want to talk about, Jennifer, and we have about 3 minutes remaining.
Sure.
One of the things I want to look at is this whole idea again of where we're looking, right? Looking
Mhm.
here at the camera.
Right.
I see folks that want to they think they're making eye contact and they're looking here, like I'm looking at you on my screen now,
Yes.
right? But
Right.
I'm looking at you eye to right here, but that's not eye contact with you, right?
No.
What are you seeing when I look at your eyes?
So I'm seeing you looking sort of down slightly if you're looking at me sort of, adjacent to you. Whereas when you were looking in the camera, that felt to me that you were looking directly at me.
Hmm. And that's right here, right? Now
Right.
now I'm looking at
Now
you,
your head
right?
is, yeah. So
Yeah.
chin mid level. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is the idea of multitasking. Let me open up another tab and I go over here and now my focus isn't on you, right?
Right.
And so just those pieces there. And the other thing that you mentioned was making sure that when you are preparing to think about what you're going to wear, that it's just not
Hmm.
throw on whatever
Hmm.
and show up. I know that for most of us, we can walk down a short hallway and we're in the office now,
Exactly. Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so critical to really think about that. And I have one tip that I really push folks to do: log in early.
Yes.
If you're gonna 10 o'clock meeting time, log in at 9:45, 9:50.
Yeah.
You never know what type of technology issues you're gonna run
Yeah.
into.
Don't be showing up late because that's actually disruptive. It's disrespectful. So yeah, being on time for video conferences is really important, just like
Yeah,
it is in person.
right, right.
Yeah.
Jennifer, tell our audience about the services you provide, what you do, and how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, thanks so much, Leon. So I do a number of things. I help people to enhance their image, to create or um, help their help their personal brand move forward. I do a lot of coaching on business etiquette and networking and the importance of LinkedIn. I do all sorts of workshops, seminars. I do keynotes and all of that. And so people can find me on jennifergrantinternational.com. They can also find me under Jennifer Grant on LinkedIn, and I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. And I would love to hear from many of your viewers.
All right. I'm sure they're going to contact you. Thank you again for spending some time with us here on the Business Information Show. Jennifer, thank you for your time.
Leon, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure. I hope I get to see you again soon.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
here. Folks, my name is Leon Thomas. We just had a great conversation with Jennifer Grant. You can find more about her by going to Jennifer Grant International. A great conversation about a positive attitude and the importance of projecting the best image that we can. I'm Leon Thomas. Thanks for watching the Business Information Show.